Hello, everybody, and happy Good Friday Eve to you all. I thought I'd take this opportunity to pop on and talk a little bit about Easter and preparing for this feasting time of year. Now, certainly when I first started my sugar-free journey, as in not this group, my own personal sugar-free journey, which was about the same time, things like Christmas, Easter, holidays, family gatherings, they would all potentially wobble me. I'd worry that I wouldn't be able to stay sugar-free, that I'd feel pressured by everybody to join in the feasting and have what everybody brought along. And it used to be a real sense of tension. It's interesting, as I've got further in, I mean, everybody is used to me now. They know that I don't eat sugar. And even though they might like me to eat sugar, they still seem to happily accept that I don't eat sugar. They also see the transformation in me, that I'm so much healthier, fitter, than I was before. So, they can't deny that it's actually not good for me. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. So what I do is I thought I'd pop on and I'd share some quick tips of things to get through this Easter weekend. So the first thing, the number one thing to do is to make a plan. So rather than sticking your head in the sand and thinking, I'm just not going to think about having Easter Sunday with all the family, and Aunt Nellie's going to bring her massive Victoria sandwich cake and Auntie Elizabeth's going to make her big chocolate brownies. Instead of burying your head in the sand and thinking, I'll deal with it on the day, it's best to actually go, okay, I'm going to think about it right now and I'm going to make some sort of contingency plan. So in order to get a contingency plan, you need to decide certain things. First thing is, what is my sugar-free bottom line? Is there any give in the day-to-day rules that I set for myself that I don't have to follow through for a feast day? Is there, something I can give on? Is there something I don't feel so strongly about? Am I clear about what's going to throw me under the sugar bus and what isn't? So personally, for me, I don't have sugar or sweet things at all, but occasionally I will have some processed carbohydrates. So an example is the other weekend, we were going to my son's to help him do something, and he offered to cook us a meal, and he said he was going to make fajitas, which obviously include those flour wraps. Now, day to day, I wouldn't eat flour, but it felt like a monumental moment when my son said, I'll cook you some food to say thank you for help. I couldn't then say, but I'm not going to eat those wraps. So I just thought, I'm going to eat those wraps and I'm going to enjoy them. So it's things like that. Is there any give in your program? So occasionally I wouldn't have something with flour and sugar, so I wouldn't have cake, but I might have a plain scone, if I'm going to a tea gathering or something, or I might have a wrap, or I may have a piece of baguette or something with some soup. I know that in isolation, away from home, in a set circumstances, that will be fine for me. So I'm still joining in. I'm still feeling that I'm not being as strict, but I'm still holding the integrity of what, for me, my sugar-free journey feels like. I know that it's not going to make me start craving sugar again. It's not going to make me want to run off and buy a baguette, although I do love the smell. So it's very good to keep it in isolation. So check in with yourself and think, okay, what would I allow myself to eat? What won't I get carried away with myself? So I think, like, Easter eggs or tins of chocolates, big no for me. If I had one, it would start to feel really uncomfortable and I'd actually want to eat 10. And I'm just not prepared to do that to myself, And to be honest, lots of people, you can pass the tin round and do that quite invisibly. So that's, first of all, decide what your bottom line is, what you can give on and what you can't. So that's the first thing. I'm just looking at my list down here. I also generally have some sugar-free treats to take along with me, so that I feel that I'm contributing. I come in offering something, and it adds to the spread or whatever. So if I'm expected to take a gift, I might take some flowers or a plant. So avoiding chocolates or whatever that may then get handed around later. If we're asked to bring a contribution to a shared meal, which often happens in my family, then I would do things like I'd buy some tropical fruit, some special things that I wouldn't ordinarily have. And so like I might take passion fruit, some mango, some pineapple, and make a nice platter up that you can then share. The other thing that goes down really well is things like stuffed vine leaves, or those lovely peppers with cheese, cottage cheese, cream cheese in them, or olives, all those sort of meze type things. The salami, sort of like the meats, the Italian sort of meats that you can lay out on a platter, they go down really well because they're a bit of a treat. Everybody knows it's not great to eat loads of those, but if you're bringing something along for a feast, then that's something you can sort of contribute. So it feels like you're being really generous and entering into the spirit of sharing and gathering together and being with people, but you're not compromising your bottom lines in terms of sugar freedom. So first of all, then we've got decide what your bottom line is, and then bring some treats along that everybody can share. Then the final thing to do, and this again is part of your preparation, is to practice your no thank yous. So again, this will depend on your relationship with that person. So very close people, you might be completely upfront and say, I'm not eating sugar, so I don't want to have any of that. The other thing that really helps is if it's somebody who you know quite well, but maybe doesn't know that you're having a go at being sugar-free at the moment, you can say something like, I'm trying sugar freedom. I'm trying to be sugar-free at the moment, and I'm really noticing that it's helping me with my arthritis, with my migraines, with losing weight. Whatever it's doing for you, you can add that in to sort of give some sort of meaning about it's not just some sort of whim that you've plucked out the air. It's actually something that you're doing with purpose. And the other thing I recommend you do is you say something like, at the moment, I'm just trying sugar-free at the moment, and I'm feeling so much better because, or my arthritis is so much better. But there's something about adding at the moment in that most people can deal with that. If you just said, I've decided I'm going to be sugar-free for the rest of my life, even if I say that to myself, it seems like fairly bonkers, and it's like, wow, how can I decide to be sugar-free for the rest of my life? Because actually it's one day at a time. But if you tell someone out there who loves their chocolate, who loves their sugar, who eats lots of processed carbs in their diet, you might as well say, I'm going to live on Mars, or I'm going to marry an alien. It feels that off for them. It's like something they can't comprehend. But if we link it to something that's happening with us, a health issue, or you're wanting to lose some weight, or anything that they know is meaningful to you, then they can go, okay, well, I understand that. That's just what Carol's doing at the moment, and I still think she's bonkers, but I can that's okay. So that makes sense to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post in the group. I've got like a little sheet. I'll probably do it in the comments below the video, actually. And it will say, how to say no thank you without offending people, and just sort of have something in your mind before you even start. So this is how you're going to do it. You know, if someone, and if they keep going on, you can just say, honestly, really, I don't want to do it. If you really feel like you're going to be in a tight spot and somebody is just not going to take any notice of you, you know, those people who always will push and push. You can say something like, I'm really full at the moment. I'll take it and I'll have it later. And then you can give it away, or, you know, give it to a friend, or even throw it away, put it in the food composting bin later on. But if you feel uncomfortable about really standing up and saying what you're doing, you can just say, I'll just have some for later. It's important that you find a way that you can hold the integrity of your sugar-free journey as much as you want to over Easter. For some of you, you might decide that, okay, it's Easter and I'm just going to eat whatever. For those maybe who are a bit more like me and you feel a bit more addicted, you're probably going to say, well, I can't do that. I wouldn't do that because it would just, I actually don't want to eat those things anymore. But also, I don't want to feel that sense of feeling thrown under the bus, because that wonderful sense of freedom that I feel that's what I'm going to lose, and I don't want to do that. So let me sum up again before I hop off. So first of all, if you've got lots of family things coming up this weekend, get prepared. Don't stick your head in the sand and think, oh, well, I'll think about that on Sunday or whatever. So get prepared. And that means think about, what is your bottom lines? What are you prepared to eat and what are you not? Then prepare, if you're expected to take some food to share, and maybe even if you're not, it's still nice to do it. Either take a gift of something non-foodie like flowers. You know, there's beautiful little pots of, you know, spring flowers you can take along, or you can take something that's non-sugar related, so some maybe nice tropical fruit or some mezes to go on the table. That would be nice. And then finally, practice how you're going to say no thank you. So it feels completely right by you, and you actually are standing really in your power and saying, you know, at the moment I'm not doing that, and at the moment I'm being sugar-free for these reasons. So get really clear about what you can say if you're put in an awkward position. So those are my top tips. I'll be here over the weekend, popping in and out. We've got a challenge week next week, starting on Tuesday, and it's called something like Your Sugar-Free Mind. It's all about how sugar affects the brain, how sugar affects our mental agility, and how we can support ourselves mentally and emotionally when we're on a sugar-free journey. So I'm going to be sharing some tips every day from Tuesday to Friday. I'm not on Monday because it's Easter Monday, but anybody who's hopped off the wagon over the Easter can use the reboot, the challenge week, to hop back on Tuesday to Friday. So I'm going to be sharing some insights, but I'm also going to be sharing some kinesiology tips that I use in my work, I use for myself, and I use in my work with people, to really support them to stay on track when they're feeling challenged on their sugar-free journey. So that is happening next week. So I'm going to love you and leave you, and, you know, share any insights in the comments below. Share how you're preparing for Easter, whether it's a challenge or not. And yeah, I will also put the no thank you sheet there for you as well. So take care for now and have a lovely Easter, but I will be popping in and out anyway. So take care for now. Lots of love.